go.
I'm never going to have a better call than this. Hello.
Oh my gosh, I got
You got back. You cannot be a pushover. Nobody is going to respect you. We got to get going on that. Be comfortable when you're sick, stats creep. You're also stunting your life. I don't know if that was helpful. This is Work Like a Girl. I'm Erica Nardini. This is our call-in show where we dispense all sorts of advice to women and all sorts of people who want to get ahead in their career. Sydney.
Hi.
How you doing?
So excited to talk to you.
Awesome. I'm excited to talk to you. Where are you calling from?
Ohio.
Oh, that's exciting. All right. What do you got? What's your question there, Sydney?
So I am leaving my first adult job after 3.5 years. And when I got the offer from the new company that I'm switching to as of Monday, I was so excited, so pumped. And then I wouldn't say I've fully been shit on by my current company, but there has been guilt trips. There has been some drama and some issues with me leaving. And so I feel like I've lost that excitement because I've just been so bogged down with trying to transition everything and just get through these last 2 weeks. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get excited and back in that, oh my gosh, there's something new on Monday. So I just was curious what your recommendation would be, how do I get myself pumped up for that again and clear away this headspace, get in that new headspace?
Well, screw this company that you're leaving. How much notice did you give them?
2 weeks. I'm actually working a few days over that because of some stuff that came up. So.
Okay. So I think the biggest thing is get done with that job as soon as humanly possible. It's clearly sucking your energy. It's making you feel bad. People are being either dramatic or just jerks. So get your stuff done as quickly as possible. Are you going into the office still or no?
Hybrid. So today I'm work from home, but tomorrow is my last day and I'll be in the office for that.
Okay. So here's what I would do. Go into the office tomorrow, get all your shit done, be super professional, be as perfect as you can be, get all your stuff done, ticket and tie. You have to remember that they're going to shit on you after you leave and that you're never going to leave a job in a perfect place because nobody is totally perfect. So there's always going to be stuff that breaks after you go. There's going to get stuff that they blame you for that you may or may not have had anything to do with. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. When you leave a company, the company tends to be bitter. Even if people have the best of intentions, it just happens. So you've got to let go of this last company and you've got to let go of the last 2 weeks at this company, even though it probably leaves a slightly bitter taste in your mouth, which is totally understandable. The other thing I would think about doing is tomorrow night when you leave your job, people, I don't know if you're going out to drinks with people from work, but I probably wouldn't if I'm understanding your situation. Plan something.
I have a good group and we are doing a little happy hour to go away. It's not the whole company. It's just a few people that have big influence that have kind of affected the last few weeks.
Okay. So go to your send-off party tomorrow night with your good group of people. Do not get trashed. Do not bitch about the company. Don't do anything stupid. Don't hook up with anybody in the bathroom. You got to keep it high and tight tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Yes.
And then on the day after, what you want to do the day after is you want to do something for yourself. Shut off your phone, shut off your email, shut off your computer. Go do something that you love to do and give yourself a little space. Go outside, go for a walk, go for a run if you like to work, whatever you like to do. Go get your nails done, whatever. Whatever your bag is, go have a me day. And then during that me day, spend your time thinking about what are you excited about for the next gig? What are you hopeful for? Maybe you want to write down what are the biggest things you want to get out of that next job, what are you hopeful will happen? What are you committed to making happen? What do you want to learn? What did you learn from this last job that you want to build on? So I would give yourself a little bit of time and space, and then also put your energy and focus to what could happen next. Instead of spending all your energy and focus on what happened before. I think it's so hard. I struggle with this all the time, which is human nature is always to look in the rearview mirror and be ugh, I suck because of whatever. Try to look forward and be excited about what the possibilities could be. And I think that will get you excited for your new gig.
Love it. Thank you so much. I I needed to hear that.
Okay, good. Well, good luck. I'm excited for your new job.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to talk to you. My question for you is how you would encourage somebody to stay motivated in a job search. So just a little bit of context. I lost my job, unfortunately, to the pandemic, but I absolutely loved my job, and it was kind of a dream job for me, and I could totally see myself just growing with that company and probably never would have left, to be honest. And I've just struggled since then to find something that I'm that passionate about. I feel like the bar is pretty high. So now, I'm leveraging my networks as much as I possibly can. And there doesn't seem to be a shortage of roles that excite me, but I'm having a really hard time landing interviews or getting offers. And so that's kind of causing me to begin to lose my confidence in my own abilities. So I'm wondering, how would you encourage somebody like me to just stay motivated in a job search?
Oh, it's so hard because the job search is so personal. And then when you get rejected or you don't get a response, like it just makes you feel bad. You know what I mean? Like, I totally get that.
I do know.
And then I also think the hardest thing is when you had something that, you had your dream job or you had a job that you loved. I think it's so overwhelming to try to replicate that. You know what I mean? Like it's really a tough task. So here's what I would say. We are in probably the greatest job market of all time, or at least in modern history, right? Like the job market is very, very, very good right now. I think you should probably have somebody take a look at your resume, look at your cover letter, look at what you're saying to people, like get some third-party perspective or outside perspective. I think there's websites that will do this, but you could also just use people that you're close to. Have them look at your resume, have them look at what you're looking for, why you're looking for it, what your pitch is about yourself, and have them give you some honest and critical feedback about it. Like you either live in a market where there may only be like one company that looks like the type of company you want to work for, or there could be something where the way you're positioning yourself or the way your resume reads or the way you're applying to these jobs is not hitting the mark. So I think the first thing I would do is like empower yourself to get as much perspective as you can. And don't forget, like you should dismiss, a percentage of what everybody has to say because they're not you, but you should try to get perspective on like, God, what's going on here? Like, this is how I'm describing myself. This is how I'm describing my role. This is how I'm describing what I accomplished. This is how I'm describing what I'm looking for. These are the type of jobs I'm applying to. This is what my resume looks like. Maybe have somebody look at those or a couple people look at those and just give you feedback on it. I think that could give you something to do and it would be constructive in working on your pitch. And then I think the next thing is, as hard as it is, and I struggle with this too, is like you got to get the image of the perfect past job out of your mind, and you've got to start really putting your energy and your focus and everything you've got to like, what's the future job for now, or the future job that I could kind of like if you're always looking for something that you had, you're never going to find it, and then the whole process is going to feel kind of defeating and like failure, even though it's definitely not. And then the third thing I would say is, try to learn as much as possible in this process. Try to get as much feedback as possible in this process. So, for example, if you get to like to be a finalist for a job, but you don't ultimately get picked for the job, try to get the feedback on like, what is it that I was missing, or what is it that I could have done better, or what is it you think that I need to learn or accomplish or do to be able to get the job offer? Because I think once you get that feedback, you got to like let it wash over yourself and not make you crumble and feel bad. But then you can be like, okay, great. Like I'm going to take an accounting class, or I'm going to work on this, or I'm going to do that. And the doing of that will kind of change your energy and it'll empower you to learn things. And I think when we're learning things, you just feel better, and then you'll feel more positive, and then you'll have more momentum, and then you'll be more likely to get a job.
Yeah, I mean, I have had people look at my resume, and actually recently somebody finally provided like really critical feedback that was helpful. They said that my resume was very heavy and I was kind of giving away the farm for free. So I needed to like trim it down. And so I did that, and I'm starting to think that like it's me.
It's not you though. You just haven't found the like right match. You know what else you might want to think about is like, could you volunteer somewhere or could you do an internship? You know what I mean? Just to like keep busy, keep working, do something for like a couple hours a day. You know what I mean? Because you are special, Lauren, and you are valuable, and you clearly have a great something great to offer a company. You just haven't found the right thing yet. Maybe you're going after a job that's super competitive. Maybe you live in a market where there's 2 jobs and there's 2,000 people looking for them. You know what I mean? But if you can, I think the thing is that you're defeated by the process. So you're probably projecting some type of defeat even going into the next thing. And it's like, let's change that up. Like, let's feel great about Lauren. Let's get Lauren learning. Let's get Lauren doing. And then the right job is going to come up for you. And maybe you got to broaden your search, or maybe you've got to, I don't know, go down a job band or a title, or maybe you got to take like an unpaid internship for a month, or maybe you got to be a waitress for a little bit. But there's nothing wrong with any of those things. Like, nobody is perfect and no one can achieve or chase perfection. It's all about like the journey to get there. And I think for you is like, this is part of your journey. So let's not feel like shit when we're on it. Like, let's make something happen. Let's learn something. Let's do something. And then one day the right job will come along and you'll be like, oh, I missed that time where I was waitressing, or I missed that time where I took that class, or the other thing, Lauren, it'll give you empathy for someone else, which I also think is a great thing to develop, you know?
Yeah, it absolutely has.
And what kind of field do you work in? Like, what kind of profession do you work in?
Yeah, my last role was a director of retail operations and communications.
Okay. So look, retail's fucked as a category. So like, that's probably why it's pretty hard to find a job. Like, so how do you pivot to e-commerce maybe? Or how do you lean more heavily into communications? You know what I mean? Like, but I think it's also hard when you're in an industry that isn't growing, and because there's so much scarcity. So how do you look at, how do you parlay what you're doing into crypto, or how do you parlay what you're doing into pharma, or how do you parlay what you're doing into e-commerce or NFTs, or I don't know. But I think you might want to think more broadly, because it's like jobs at in my world, it's like a job at NBC or CBS or ESPN. It's so hard. I applied to those jobs when I was early in my career all the time, and I never got them because the ship was getting smaller and everybody wanted that job because it's the job that's safe and that pays well and that everybody else wants,
Yeah, I think that's exactly it too.
You got this. You can do it.
I do. Thank you for the reminder.
Hello?
Oh, can you hear me?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Really, my question is, I just got a job offer.
Congratulations.
But they wanted me to start sooner than I'm available to start. There's no really leeway for it, so I do have to reject the job offer. I was wondering what would be the best way to do it without burning a bridge.
Ooh, okay. I love that. Couple things I would say. One is, don't go looking for jobs if you can't take the job. Like, most people, when you like get through that interview process, they're like going to want you to start. So like 2 weeks is, I think, reasonable. Sometimes people will accept 3 weeks. Some people want you to start like that week. So I think being in the job process, you want to be sure like you're really ready to leave, and that you also have the like flexibility to do it, right? Like, there's all sorts of reasons of why people can start when they can start. But in general, you don't want to be in a search when you can't go take the job. I think it's super easy, though, to decline politely. And all you really need to say is, thank you so much. This was, a really incredible offer. I'm so grateful. I think you have say something nice about the company. I think you have a great company. I really, this represents a huge opportunity for me. And then what I would say is like, unfortunately, due to a set of circumstances that I can't change, I would not be able to start this position before this date. And it sounds like you need someone significantly sooner than that. And, I want you to have what you need as the company. And regretfully, I need to pass on this opportunity. And, I hope someday our paths may cross again. That might be how I would say that.
Well, so a little more information. I did apply for this job back when I was also looking and got passed over. And that person they passed me over with didn't work out. And they reached out a couple days ago asking if I was still interested without explaining the start date time, which is what led to this situation.
Oh, yeah. Then that, look, don't make it a drama. You don't need to make it a huge deal. Like, you're not rejecting them. They're not they did reject you, but now you're back. I think leave it polite and friendly, and look, the timing isn't going to work out. If you can make the timing work, I'm all in. If the timing isn't going to work, you respect that, and you'll hope your paths cross again.
All right. Well, thank you very much then.
Okay. See you later. Let's go. I'm never going to have a better call than this. Hello.
Oh my gosh, I got
You got back. You cannot be a pushover. Nobody is going to respect you. We got to get going on that. Be comfortable when you're sick, stats creep. You're also stunting your life. I don't know if that was helpful.